If you're still looking for a spring break activity for your family, the amazing world of glass blowing awaits you just down the thruway at the Corning Museum of Glass. We'd like to welcome flame worker Eric Goldschmidt to the studio. Now, you've been working all show long on this, and I have to point out we have our awesome flame blowing glasses on right now. But what are we making?
I'm working on a candy dish. You guys were talking about how much candy people have around this time of year, so can't hurt to be prepared and get a dish ready. So I've started with a piece of hollow tubing, inflated it a little bit as I've softened the glass with the flame, and I'm going to start to really open this up. Now, flame working is one example of the sorts of demonstrations that we do back at the museum.
And now I have to point out, we were just outside. I was really cold, so the flame is feeling nice and warm. But how hot is this flame in reality?
It's about 5,000 Fahrenheit right now.
So how hot is that? Does that make this incredibly dangerous to do?
You certainly need to pay attention and take the necessary precautions.
Now, one of the things I love about the Corning Museum of Glass is there's not only to see a lot of beautiful glass art, but there's a lot to do. So it's the perfect spring break activity for the family. But what do you have planned, for those kids that are off?
Well, we're doing extra live demonstrations all week, and one additional demonstration that we do when the kids are out of school is what we call a You Design It, We Make It show, where the kids can bring in drawings, they can make drawings while they're at the museum, and they have a chance to have their drawing chosen by one of our professional glass makers, and they will actually render the piece in glass, and the kids will get to keep that piece. It's a pretty fantastic program. And we also have our Make Your Own Glass workshop open all week long, which it's open every day anyways throughout the year.
So if you like what you're seeing, and if you think this was really interesting, you can actually do it yourself.
You can. We give you plenty of guidance. And this week, since it is going to be a busy vacation week, we do suggest that people go on our website at cmog.org and make reservations beforehand, before they visit, just to make sure they get a spot.
And it's definitely not just your kids' hands-on museum. There's a lot of stuff there for the adults to see that's a little bit more sophisticated.
Yes, absolutely. We have pieces that cover the 3,500-year history of man making glass, beautiful objects from all around the world. We have scientific demonstrations that both the kids and the adults will enjoy. We have lots of family projects. We have some programs that will lead families through our collections and give them some good pieces to be looking for throughout their visit.
Now, I'm watching you do this right now, and I find it kind of curious that you're not actually using a glove, that the bottom part of the glass isn't hot. How does that work?
Well, glass actually is an insulator. It doesn't really conduct heat, so I don't have to worry about the heat coming down towards my hands. It'll radiate a little bit, but it won't actually conduct.
And then how does someone learn to become a glass maker?
There are several ways. We actually have a teaching facility at our museum, the studio of the Corning Museum of Glass, and that's where I've learned most of what I know, actually. We bring instructors from all around the world to teach at our institution, so it's a great place to learn. Some people will learn in collegiate settings nowadays, or even in a factory setting.
Now, it looks like you're nearing completion. How much more work is going to go into making this candy dish?
I'm just going to neaten up the bottom a little bit, and we're just about done.
And then once it's made, I can imagine that it's still incredibly hot. What happens after the construction of the piece is done?
Well, we want to make sure that it cools slowly and evenly. As the glass is cooling, it's actually shrinking a little bit, contracting a little. We want to make sure that happens uniformly. If it doesn't, it will pull itself apart and crack. So we want to make sure to cool it down neatly.
All right, well, look at that. We definitely will be eating candy out of this once it's safe and it's cool. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming in. Now we're going to head over to the Kitchen World Kitchen, where an equally as creative piece of art is being made.